Now, Linda, you are the daughter of Greg Scarpa. Now, you're not married to a mobster. Your father was a mobster.
Right.
He's no longer with us.
No, he passed away.
Tell me who your dad was.
My father was, according to the newspapers, the Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper. Why did they call him that?
Because he was a notorious killer, one of the most feared mobsters, supposedly in history.
He was the head of the Colombo crime family.
That's right.
Did he have a nickname? I love the names.
The Grim Reaper.
Besides that, I mean, hers was Philly, Caruso.
Philly, yeah.
What was yours? Like, you know,
I
Tony,
didn't
Goldfish,
really know
Scarpa. What was his name?
No, his name was just Greg Sr.
Greg Sr.
Yes.
Okay, now, he was, how does it, what is it like to have a father who's actually the Grim Reaper?
Well, I didn't know him as the Grim Reaper.
What did you know him as?
I know him as a great father. Growing up, we had a great life as kids.
Where'd you grow up?
In Brooklyn.
Where?
Midwood section, Avenue J.
Yeah.
Then we moved to 82nd Street and Bay Ridge section. My father was typical father. Played video games with us, cooked dinner, breakfast. We had to be home at 5 o'clock for dinner every night.
So did you know what he was doing when you were growing up?
Not up until maybe when I was around 16, I started to know.
What was your first clue?
My sweet 16, I had a few hundred people at my party that were all made guys, big
Really?
gifts.
All made guys?
Yeah.
Meaning that they all had to kill somebody to be a made guy, right? Isn't that how that works?
Yeah, they all.
So there was a couple of hundred of them who were made guys.
Most of them are all either in jail or dead today.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah. My Sweet 16 video is actually pretty morbid.
I'd love to see it. All right, I'm just getting started with the cast of I Married a Mobster, so sit tight. I was talking to you, Linda, about your dad, who was the head of the Colombo family in Brooklyn.
Right.
He is no longer with us. He went to federal prison, I presume?
Yes, he died there.
He died in prison?
Yes.
There was an attempt on your father's life at one point, yes? Tell me what happened there.
There was an attempt on his life, and they tried to kill him in front of me. I was in the car behind him.
In front of you? We're one of those like Sonny Corleone, you were going through a toll booth or something?
We were actually just leaving our home, and I just happened to have left the same time as him that day. And as he drove away... You had your child with you? I had my one-year-old son in the car with me. A huge truck blocked the street, and
oh my God.
A van behind me, several guys in masks and black outfits came running out of the van, shooting at my father. Several shots were fired into my car. It was pretty scary. The most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
See, now, that sounds like something out of The Godfather where there were warring families. Is that what was going on?
Well, it was a war between inside the family.
Oh, within the family?
Within the family.
Now, isn't that against the rules of the mafia or the mob, that you don't take the innocent members of the family and put them in harm's way?
Well, I think what happened that day was the plan was so well thought out that they didn't want to back out. They just didn't care that I was there at that point. They would have been willing to kill you and your child. I don't think that was the intent, but it could have definitely happened accidentally.
But they accidentally.
They weren't firing at my car. Shots were fired into my car accidentally because one of the guys in my father's car jumped out to shoot back. So the guy that was shooting at him, his gun went a little bit out of control.
Now, how old were you then?
I was 21.
Okay, so between 16 and 21, you knew what your father was up to.
Yeah.
And your mother knew probably the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you feel about all of it? How did you feel about your father?
I still love my father. You know, I have a lot of anger and resentment towards that life. I lost my brother due to that life.
How did your brother die?
My brother was murdered also.
Another mob hit.
It really wasn't a mob hit. It was more of a street incident between 22-year-old kids. Oh. But my brother had no more protection anymore, so he was left open in the streets of Brooklyn to basically get killed. When there was a problem, there was no one to protect him.
Are you married now?
No, I'm not.
You're not married. Are you frightened to get married?
I was for a long time. Yeah, I was.
Well, these ladies were married to mobsters. Yours is a little bit different. You have a child?
I have 4 children.
4 children.
Well, the thing is, whether you're married to a mobster or you're conceived by a mobster, either way, you're in the mob, and there's really no way out.
There's no way out.
There's no way out because of the fact that you have to live for the rest of your life with the scars, with the memories, with the people that you've lost.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much pain that I will have to deal with for the rest of my life that even though I'm out of I'm out of that life, that will never leave me.
And your mother? Your mother too?
Well, my mother lost a son, so she will be in pain for the rest of her life. But the problem that I had, and this is the first time that I've ever spoke openly about this thing with me, is that I never spoke about my brother, with the pain that I had with my brother, because I didn't feel that I had the right to grieve or cry to anyone because I felt that so many people died due to the hands of my father. Who am I to cry or speak out to anybody about my pain?
Well, you realize that your father is responsible for all of this. Is that what you're saying? You know that.
I know that
you love your father. He's your only father.
Right.
He is the reason. Otherwise, this would not have happened.
Well, that's why I'm so resentful. I do know what he's done, what he's capable, what he was capable of, and I feel that that has destroyed our lives completely.
Right.
We're just trying to rebuild whatever we possibly can, dealing with that pain every day. It's really hard.